Mr. Bill Rhodes, Mr. Christian Marley, sponsors, distinguished ladies and gentlemen, journalists, my fellow colleagues in government and fellow country citizens, thank you for this invitation. Along the 5 years we have been in government, we have had the opportunity to share our vision, our challenges, our advances, our difficulties with you. I want to express my gratitude on behalf of all Colombians for your permanent interest in our country. At this moment, given the current political situation in Latin America, it is very important to rehearse political values, to reestablish what is the political model we are working for. Remember that Latin America had decades when many countries wanted to dismantle the state, the government. And now, Latin America in many countries is going to the opposite direction, in the direction of statism. Colombia has not dismantled the state, and Colombia is not in the way of statism. Colombia gives the private sector, national and international, all the possibilities in our country with social responsibility. We have restructured 420 state agencies. And during the short 3 years we have still in government, we will continue this task. If I were asked, what will be your best legacy for the country related to the fiscal policy, I would answer the restructure of the state. So far, the restructure saves to the budget 1 percentage point of the GDP. It has been very important. You know that the first big state corporation we restructured is the National Corporation for Telecommunications. It has improved a lot. And there is one byproduct. Every time we restructure a state corporation, we gain better governance, more efficiency, more transparency. We abolish clientelism. For instance, in the National Corporation for Telecommunications, that now is a new mixed corporation with private strategic partners. Now we have good governance, transparent management. This corporation no longer has clientelistic interference. Now, this corporation has a very positive value, a brilliant future. The last corporation we have restructured is the state-owned agency for oil, Ecopetrol. This restructure is very important in the middle of the political landscape in South America. As you know, many countries in the region, they want only state monopolies for oil. They are reluctant to accept private investment in oil. Every day they close even more doors to stop the presence of the private sector in oil. And they want a supranational monopoly, a supranational state monopoly. In Colombia, we have done the opposite. First, we introduced the labor reform in Ecopetrol. Second, the pension reform. And last year, the government presented to Congress a bill, finally approved and enacted, asking Congress for the legal authorization for the government to capitalize with private investors in 20% this corporation. I have been a fighter since I was a young. I went to the public university by the time of the Marxist doctrine. I remember Marxist guerrillas wanting to take in South America Bolivia and Colombia. Bolivia and Colombia were the main two targets after they took Cuba. And along the years, we have fought to overcome the heritage of the Marxist guerrillas that even today try to damage my country. They introduced in Colombia a very radical ideology. Because of the radical ideology, some years ago, it appeared to be impossible to change in Colombia the labor framework, the pension framework. It did appear to be impossible to restructure corporations dedicated to basic products such as Ecopetrol dedicated to oil. However, one very important achievement in my country, and please keep it in mind because today I come here to ask you to review the rate for Colombia. Every day I review your report and I say, when will Colombia has a better envy? Colombia has overcome the radical ideology. If I had been asked 5 years ago, President, will you able to capitalize Ecopetrol? I would have said, no, we cannot. We will introduce the labor reform, we will introduce the pension reform. But the vast majority of the people in Colombia have turned around so dramatically in the good sense that we have been able to introduce the private capitalization in